Sonic Super Digest 11. We start out with Amy, Cream, and Big about to start the training exercise. At least this time, the issue starts out by reminding the audience is taking place in Nicole's training exercise. It's sad that Cream is so underutilized as a freedom fighter that it was actually refreshing to see her do this. I don't know what Amy means when she says the training exercise is too intense right here. Nicole tells her to stop making her break character, saying that as far as Amy's supposed to know, her handhold form is plugged in elsewhere while she hacks the system. Nicole thinks that she knows her friends trust her to push them without going too far. Well, her going too far would have been interesting. It seemed like the story arc was kind of building up to that, but nah. And then she depresses me by thinking that it took some time to build that trust. That reminds me of how Sonic at first wanted Sally to get rid of Nicole in the In Your Face special and didn't trust her, and he bickered with her every chance he got. But at the same time, him having that rivalry with her was interesting compared to him never doing that again. It's already stretched my disbelief that more than one of the freedom fighters at a time was reflecting back on their entire life while in the training simulation, where they're supposed to be busy. Now Nicole's coincidentally doing it too. I'm not sure we needed to have a framing device at all. It's just distracting and wastes comic panels that could go towards a more expanded backstory. Also, I've been confused that the story even got released, because I know that her backstory gets revealed in Spark of Life, but that comes right after this. Isn't this gonna be really redundant with it? What's the point? She thinks that it was hard living with her friends, being unable to share in their laughter and tears. I guess from blindness. As we see Rotor imitating Eggman with a fake mustache, and Antoine crying because he's told that his parents had passed. Both of them at the same time, apparently. With the writer being too lazy to even tell us how that happened. I didn't think Flynn would go the extra mile and be that cruel. Isn't it mean-spirited enough that he killed off his father and Archie when he didn't have to? I thought he'd at least keep them alive in the reboot, even if keep them off screen. That was unnecessary. The next page mostly bores the fuck out of me, telling me stuff that I already know. At least it was interesting to see that Antoine can't cook and Nicole and Sally play chess together. These are the kinds of really easy, quick character building panels that the evil twin should have had. It's nice seeing her put a blanket over Rotor when he's sleeping on his book, but I'd still rather see him in a proper bed. We see Cheese in the training simulation fly into a hole, and Cream says now, and then an explosion happens. And Sonic says that they didn't need them after all. What did Cheese do? Cream didn't do anything but say 2 words! Come on! Big had his fishing line or something, and Amy had cracked something. Who cares? One panel. That's the end of the simulation? One explosion that would have been much better justified by simply seeing a bomb be thrown, or Sonic spin dashing. That was boring. What took so long then? So Nicole says that Eggman's facility has been destroyed. Again, why do the heroes ever see the point of doing that to actual facilities when they should be smart enough to know that Eggman will just rebuild them? And probably has so many of them that destroying one of them is worthless. It's just mindless destruction to make themselves feel better. I'd much rather see them save civilians, help actual people. It's good that Nicole says well done. And the story ends with Nicole being sappy and cheesy. She should know that her friends already know that they're inspirations and friends, so what provoked her to say it? Everything after this is just a reprint. I honestly don't understand why they waste comic space on any reprints instead of having original stories the whole time, other than writer laziness. It's a waste of page money. Finally, the story ends. This issue is by Ian Flynn. It was an extremely redundant, boring waste of time. I don't know why the story exists. It's just telling you the obvious. It's like it was written by Omachow. There were a few heartwarming panels, though. It wasn't outright terrible, I guess. It was probably the best written issue he ever wrote, because there's no room for bad writing in a story like this. Because there's no room for plot holes in a story like this. But I don't care. It can't be good if it's going to be so boring that it's not worth reading. It shouldn't have existed if it was going to be this pointless. Nicole's just telling me stuff that I could have assumed. I would have rather seen more panels of Cream in action so I could see what she'd be like as a freedom fighter, but even then I can't imagine her doing stuff that Tails wouldn't already do.